All right, I think we are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Hang Out With on the Health Entrepreneur. And tonight we have investor Kenan Grace in the house. Thank you very much for joining us. Woo! Here we go. So, as everybody knows, thanks for joining us. All good's here. Anthony's good is here. Dave's here. Gen X, holy geez, Vern's junk closet. Everybody's here. This is fantastic. Thanks for joining us, guys. On a very intense day with the coronavirus and whatnot. Our borders are locking up, I think, on our country and maybe yours as well. Kenan. So where are you from? Sorry, what city are you located? I never got a chance to ask you earlier.
So I live in Connecticut. I live in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Nice. I'm in Toronto. So
you're in Canada.
Yeah, I'm in Canada. Canadian, crazy Canadian. Travis is here. Yeah, crazy Canadian, man. So I'm going to try and post everybody tonight. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the markets, coronavirus, how it's affecting people, how the markets are affecting people. We're going to talk about our choices, what's going on, some ideas and stocks that we're looking at, everything. And we want to get to know Kenan a lot tonight too. So first question as always, how did you start as an investor?
So when I was on investor one time with Ryan, he mentioned this, and this one, oh boy, I almost regret saying.
So say it again then.
So I used to be a person who had no idea of how rich people got rich. What I would do is I would get money, and then I would already think of ways to spend it, and then I was just normal, because basically I pretty much no one in my sphere who was thinking about investing. It was always all right. You get money, and then the best thing you can do is save it. And that's how you get wealthy. You just save it. So I was thinking, let's maybe there's another way, but I didn't really look into it at all. Lucky for me, there's a whole community on YouTube. Shout out to you guys. There's a whole community on YouTube who teach this stuff for free. So then I still didn't check it out though, but it was there. The information was there, and it's been there for years. So it was, I want to say maybe 2018 or 19, and I have however many thousands of dollars in the bank, and it's near Christmas, and maybe it was the day after Christmas, and I hear that Kanye West he's going on another crazy rant. So I'm like, oh boy, I wonder what's up, what's going on now. And Kanye West, he bought, I want to say $100,000 worth of Amazon stock or Apple stock for Kim Kardashian, and I'm thinking like, I never considered buying into a company before. So then that didn't teach me to invest. It sort of sparked what I needed to see in terms of buying into a company. Right. So then I started to look for myself. So it was just so interesting to see that, he bought something that's going to be worth more in the future. And I looked into it and I see, oh boy, you have to pay commission to trade. And then lucky for me, here goes Robinhood. Here goes all these other apps that just help you to do it for free. And then now that's a big thing, and bigger banks and companies are doing it now. But it was just, the timing was just so perfect. Like I was financially in the right space to do it. I was mentally in the right space to learn. And that's one of the big things. Oftentimes we get information that we are not ready to receive. We'll hear it, and then it'll sort of bounce off us like a bullet hitting Superman. Like it got to us, but then it just deflects. So, but at this point in my life, I was absolutely ready to hear it. I'm pretty sure, because I'm 29 now, I'm pretty sure that somewhere in my life, I want to say I started investing maybe 27, early 28, but like maybe I was 27. But I'm sure at some point in my life, I've heard of or seen someone else invest, but I just wasn't ready and not knowing it.
Yeah, you weren't ready. Yeah, you weren't ready to absorb it and understand it, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So how long have you been investing then for now?
Say that one more time.
How long have you been investing for?
I want to say a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Good for you.
But I've started in my 20s. I was happy with that. I wish I would have started earlier, because oh boy, I guess we all wish we would have started or known what we know now then.
Always,
right?
Absolutely.
Hindsight is 2020, but 2020 means you see things as they are. Hindsight is even better than 2020, like 2010 or 2015, which is better than 2020. you can see crystal clear.
Yeah.
That.
Absolutely. It's exciting, eh? It's exciting. Like what do you find is the best part about being an investor?
The best part about being an investor is how it inspires other people to use their money in better ways.
Right.
It's so important for me to see people who I know have the desire to grow their wealth, to provide for their family, to provide for the people they love, how they can actually really set up in such a way. For example, I have a video of how to give your kid $18,000 on their 18th birthday. And many people think, oh, wow, why would I just give my kid this lump? But the idea was to have you invest a small chunk, which was $44 a month, relatively small. Who knows what someone can afford to do? But small chunk over a long period of time. The goal of that video was actually to show that time in the market better than timing in the market. And over a long period of time, a little bit due to compound interest goes such a long way. So then that idea that I could give this to someone to show you how such a little amount, or in my opinion, a little amount can go such a long way. And that I love about investing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. So how did you learn to be an investor? Strictly YouTube?
I would say YouTube and a lot of Google research, just straight Google University, YouTube University. And the information is really there. And it's so interesting to me that sometimes you might find some information that's like behind a paywall, but if you dig hard enough, it's there. It's there. They might even check out your live streams and just watch every live stream and then pick up what they need to know from it about how to invest.
Yeah, absolutely. Little tidbits along the way. Absolutely. So having said that, who do you follow on YouTube? Who would you give credit to?
Okay. So I think most investors, when they start off and they're thinking about doing it on YouTube, they follow the main few, like Graham. I would say there's a guy, Josh Breitsing. There's Graham Steph and Josh Breitsing. I follow Meet Kevin. He's a character.
Yeah.
Meet Kevin's a character.
Totally is.
Who else? I follow. There's so many people out in the community though that I think may even provide more value than the bigger YouTubers. And because they are sort of where we are, and sometimes these bigger YouTubers, no disrespect to them, but they're so far removed from what's normal or what we are used to that they may not have exactly what you need at the time. So, for example, sometimes, like I saw a Graham Stephan video about a backdoor Roth IRA. I was interested in watching it. I was like, but it was like I don't need anything like that because I don't have millions of dollars that I can't. So I earn and I can't do a traditional or a regular Roth IRA the normal way. So that it was interesting to watch, but it was just beyond the scope of where I am as an investor.
Yeah, got it. Dave's got your first question for the night tonight. What's your favorite investment book?
So I would say my favorite investment book is pretty much probably Stand To, like the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. And I don't hold any one piece of information as sort of like the Bible of investing. I think the way that I go about it is try to read or even study multiple books or multiple different perspectives on things today. And one thing that I would say too, even the book like Rich Dad Poor Dad, or something like that, is you have to tailor it to how you see yourself in the future. What is your plan? How long term do you plan to invest, or short term, which I would totally not advise. Do not day trade, please. I know that might be a hot take. Day trading, I will never day trade. I tried for like a day. I'm done. I was done. Totally done. But,
a day.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because what'll happen?
That's it.
Don't day trade, guys, please. Or at least don't day trade any money that you are not ready to lose. You are basically in Vegas when you're day trading. one thing that I wanted to say, and I have a few talking points I wrote on this iPad right here.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I was thinking about your first question, and it was pretty like, you know, what do I like about investing? And it made me think of why we do what we do, and we educate other people to want to invest. And what's about that is people they're not ready all the time for the information that you're given. So in psychology, your mental framework, it's called the schema. And there are two ways to update your schema. The first way is assimilation. Things that you already know, and just add to what you already know. For example, you teach a kid, and you may have all heard this. When you assimilate into your schema, you assimilate some new information. You teach a kid that thing right there is a dog. And the kid sees the dog, and they say, okay, so dogs have 4 legs. Then you take your kid to the zoo, and then they see a different animal with 4 legs, and another animal with 4 legs. And then they tell, look at dogs. And you say, oh, no, those aren't dogs. That's a tiger. That's a lion, right? So now they have to assimilate what they already know, that animals have 4 legs, and they're called dogs, but not all dogs have 4 legs. Or not all animals with 4 legs are dogs. So in this case, with investing, it's really easy to assimilate, to add to what you already know. So when you tell someone who, let's say, is primarily a Dave Ramsey purist, you tell them to pay off debt first, then they're ready for that video. They're ready to see it. They're ready to intake it. They're like, okay, yeah. That already goes with what I already think. It can assimilate into what they know and work back from it. But then when you tell them, guys, we have a rare opportunity right now with the stock market crash, with the coronavirus. We have an extremely rare opportunity to invest. Now they have the second thing, not assimilate. They have to do what's called accommodation. And accommodation is that mental framework that you have, let it go and update to a new one. And that's much harder to do on the brain. Change the way that you think is hard. It's almost like going on a diet, where if you primarily liked let's say a meat-based diet, or a carnivorous diet, I tell you, okay, guys, just stop eating bacon, but you can keep eating meat. I can still eat that assimilates right into what I'm doing. But then I say, okay, you know what? Your doctor said that you have some sort of protein that doesn't allow you to digest meat. It's time to stop eating meat. That's going to be harder to do. You have to change your lifestyle completely. So then when you think about going saving, everyone knows about saving. We can assimilate into that, versus going to investing, which is a completely new mind state. It's hard to do, push back and resist.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. All right, got another question for you from Marie. How do you earn capital to invest?
I earn capital. So, all right, extremely fortunate to have a day job, and I'm in education. And my day job, it was like this. My wife, she was in college to get her second master's degree. And while she was doing that, I was pretty much covering all the bills. So all of our bills are basically maxed up to what I earn. So when she got a job making exactly what I earned, down to the dollar, we doubled our income, but now half of our income can be used to pay off and invest. So because of that, we were thinking, oh man, this stinks. We're basically living on absolute max. And then she ended up graduating, getting her license, and she's a social worker. And now she's earning what I'm earning, and then boom, we can use all that money to invest. So I'm extremely fortunate. And I was thinking about talking before we got live. We were talking about people who aren't salary workers in this climate right now, how they are some of the people who are struggling the most financially because they don't have a job. They work hourly. So we have to really be considerate and think about their issues and what's important to them. So when we're talking about Zion Williamson, an NBA player, he's new, he's a rookie, and he's on the New Orleans Pelicans. And he decided to dedicate because this guy's, he has to be making $100 million this year, if not more. And he decided to dedicate, to do the endorsements, the NBA contract, being number one in the draft, crazy. But he decided to pay for the people and the arena employees. He decided to pay for what they would have been earning had they worked. Because imagine the disruption, because everyone's so freaked out about the coronavirus as a sickness, which I do not want to downplay the impact as a sickness. But we also have to think that there's a sickness aspect, but then there's the financial aspect of it too. Yeah. With everyone out of work and all our people who work, let's say, for example, in factories, cutting off supply chains, people who aren't going to work that then have to pay a rent to a landlord, and now the landlord can't cover the mortgage. This is just a domino effect, just a disaster financially. So that's where I am with that one.
Yeah, that's a tough call. I mean, like, it's a tough position, I should say, sorry, for a lot of people that have just instantly been thrown into it. It's really tough. Yeah, Toronto's doing that too. The MLSE, Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, they're doing that. They own 5 teams here in Toronto, so they're looking after all their staff over this duration. I think you and I were speaking about this just before we went on air too, is that there's like 5 or 6 other NBA teams that are doing the same thing. So yeah, I mean, it's a rippling effect. It's that domino effect all the way along that people are being affected, and it really stinks. You know, it really does. Help anybody out there that you guys can. Anybody. I mean, seriously. I mean, the longer this goes on, the tougher it's going to be for a lot of people, right? So do anything to help out. You know, definitely. So, wow, scary stuff. So, what's Anthony saying? Yeah, that was a very generous move. Absolutely was. Talked about that in his most recent video. Wow, good for you. Everybody, go and check out Anthony's most recent video. Want to see that by all means. And everybody, obviously, check out everybody else's channels. You know, connect. We got a great community here. Connect with one another and subscribe to everybody's channel, especially Kenan's right here as well. All of his stuff is running along the bottom here. His Twitter, his Instagram, and his YouTube channel as well. So go and check it out, subscribe, and connect with him if you haven't already done it. So let's get your thoughts on the market this past week or two. What do you think of what's going on?
I am over it. I don't have any kids, but I feel like this is what it feels like to have your first child. When I saw, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's amazing. There was someone in my comments, and they tried to troll me a little bit, and they were like, "Oh man," because I made a video on Robinhood how I made $2,000 like in like a month or something on Robinhood. Like I had some really good picks, and they were, you know, everyone is an expert during a bull run, and everyone is winning during a bull run. I just happened to make my video then, but I knew and stated in the video, and we know that no one really watches the entire video. But if the guy would have stayed for the rest of the video, he would have saw my mindset towards, guys, I made this money, but it's gonna go away, and then I'm going to buy more and more and more. This is my thing with that. Disney took a huge hit. So at the top of the market, or at their peak sales price or share price, I want to say they were maybe $151 a share. And yesterday, I haven't checked them today, but was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. They were in the 90s, maybe $95 a share. So
let's check it out right now. That's amazing.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. Well, hey, and there's tons of stocks. So hang on for 1 sec.
Yeah,
you're right. To go from 93
to go from 151 to 93, and now let's think about this. I was so happy. This is why I was like, this is like having my first son. Like I was just so happy because I was ready to put some capital in, and then everything decides to go on sale. So Disney, and the reason I bring up Disney specifically is because we all know Disney, and we know Disney has been around for 100 years, if not almost 100 years. They've been through the .com bubble. They've been through almost everything. The 08 crash, all kinds of things, world disasters, different kind of epidemics and pandemics. They've been through it. Now, Disney, when they lost that over $50, almost $60 a share, to go from 151 to a 93,
lost a third. Absolutely, yeah.
They didn't lose. They didn't lose that asset. They didn't lose. They didn't lose Star Wars. They didn't lose any. They didn't lose anything like that. They hold all of the same asset. They hold the same value in the children's heart as they did before. However, since they're losing all of this money, they're in a tough position. and their shares are cheaper. Therefore, this is our opportunity to transfer some of the wealth. And one of the other reasons why I feel happy about the market is because I don't know who said this, but a recession, and I can't take this one, but I love this. A recession is the great transfer of wealth, because money doesn't just disappear. That $60 or so that Disney lost, it didn't just poof disappear. What happened was it went from this person to that person, and from this person to that person. It's transferring. If anything, there's more money in the world because the government keeps printing, but it's not disappearing. It's being transferred, and we need to be a part of that transfer.
Excellent. So Dave's saying that he's not a big fan of it. Dave, let us know, why are you not a big fan of Disney? You know, I'd love to hear the interesting. Is it the low? I think it's like 1.5% or whatever it is for the dividend. Is that the reason why? So, Kenan, what are the stocks you're looking at? REITs.
My favorite stock. And Disney is just an example because we all know the name. So I don't want you to think I'm like super bullish on Disney. I have like maybe in my portfolio, maybe 1 or 2% Disney, but that's just an example that we all know. So my favorite stock right now, I would say, is VOO. So VOO, and it's Vanguard. And it's the S&P 500. It's the S&P 500 stock that they have. So I'm really big on that. And
why?
Also,
why?
And also
why?
VTI. Huh?
Why? Why the Vanguard VOO?
So VOO and VTI, because I think that they're pretty much as a new investor, I've only been investing for about 2 years, so I never claim to be an expert on this at all. I know that there's a million people who say they're the average investor. If this is the average investor, I'm like coming up on. I'm like right here, right? So I'm just a regular guy trying my best, trying to educate myself and learn. So I would say VOO, the Fortune 500 or S&P 500 companies, these companies know how to make money, and I want to make money with them. So I know that whatever I could choose, it probably wouldn't be as good as what they would choose. So therefore, I will allow them to use my money to grow my money. And it's pretty much like this. Picking stocks and trying to time the market is a scientifically proven strategy of losing money. Therefore, I will not try to pick individual stocks. Mostly, everyone has their favorites. Like, I really like Apple stock a lot, but I won't go all in on Apple. If I have $100 to invest, I might put $15 into Apple.
Yeah.
Just
everybody has their favorites and strategies. Yep.
Yeah, I really like this company. I'm going to put something into it individually, but primarily I'm investing into total stock market index funds just to get some sort of diversification on the things that I'm invested in. Yeah. So diversification is why I like VOO and VTI, because they are index funds and they expand. And I really trust Vanguard too.
Good for you. Exciting times, in the market right now. It is. I was talking to my business partner the other day, and we're the one, he's the one with me on Mappus, and we were saying, it's got that same feeling of 2008, 2009 when we started picking up the condo after real estate, crash and whatnot. It was just like, got that same feeling right now. So we're strategizing as to what he's, just bouncing ideas and whatnot, or different strategies from on one another as to what he's looking at right now, what I'm looking at, when were we going to do it. We feel it's still kind of like in the early stages too, right? With everything that's going on with COVID-19 right now, that there's a lot more, dark days ahead of us. We're still at the beginning of the storm. So it could be a lot more opportunities in the next, week or two as well. You never know. But at the same time, what great deals there are out there.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. I love to hear, hey, what's everybody else thinking as well? Like, what's everybody else looking at right now? I got my list of 20. It's like, pew, 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 pew.
It's almost hard to not find a good deal.
No kidding. I agree with you. No kidding. Absolutely. So, yeah. So what excites you about being an investor then? What is it that you love the most about it and the excitement of it? Like, what drives you to be an investor?
So what I really like about being an investor, and I think most people feel this way too. So I know a lot of people want to become a millionaire and get a yacht and get a nice car and all this stuff. Sure. I actually want to live the exact lifestyle that I live now, but I don't want to have to go to work to do it.
Oh, freedom. Oh,
yeah. I don't want to
have the freedom. I love it.
I absolutely love I love working in education. I love where I am. I love my coworkers. I love my neighbors. All of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And
Same situation. Yeah.
when you have to do something, I feel like it kind of sullies the joy, that because it's not like I'm just choosing to do this thing. I sort of have to do it. So I'm sort of like an indentured servant in a way. Like I own a home. I have to pay the mortgage. I have to pay for this thing and that thing and this thing, and I have to go and do these things. Even though I like to do them, I have to go and do them.
Yeah.
So that's one of my absolute favorite things. Just the freedom to choose what I want to do today. Or, I feel like getting up at 9 a.m. today rather than 6 a.m. today. Just something like that. Or, you know what? I'd like to go to the gym this morning and not have to go at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Speaking of which, a little off the kilter here, but are your gyms closing down?
Everything.
Yeah, our gyms are closed. They closed down a couple of days ago too. Right?
Our restaurants, everything. Oh, we talking about this, guys, who are in the chat listening. Did you guys hear in the chat about Adidas and the CEO saying that he's not closing down at all? If you did, comment on that. I just heard about it, but I don't have any of the facts because I jumped on the live right when I heard about it. But he thinks, or it seems, fact check, it seems that he feels as though they're being strong or tough because they didn't close. Well, what the heck? I'm going to look into that a little later, but what the heck is up with that?
Yeah. I don't know the full story. You just brought it to light, just before we went on air tonight. So, that's crazy with Adidas. I don't know what's going on there. So Ryan's saying his gym closed as well. Anthony's saying that Brady's to the Bucks. Oh, that's beautiful news. I'm a Bucks fan. Sorry. Hey, Divins with Alshers. He's here. He made it across the pond. Holy jeez. How about anything else going on right now with the coronavirus for you? That's affecting you? Are you doing like any changing of trips or anything like that? You said you're working from home right now currently?
Yeah, I'm working from home, and we were planning on going to California in July. So we'll see if this thing blows over or not. I noticed that there are so many people who are still going on trips because the airline companies are making the flights and everything a lot cheaper, which I don't like to tell people what to do, but I really do think that even if you aren't having symptoms, you still may carry the disease or the virus on you or something like that. You might get someone else sick. So I kind of just try to avoid the internet a little bit in a way because I don't want to see that people are saying, "Oh, I'm not sick. I'm going out. I'm still going here. I'm going there." And then they might potentially get someone else sick. And I'm not a doctor, but it just doesn't seem courteous. And we have to think about other people. I don't think many of us consider how other people are enough.
Yeah, flat on the curve. We got to do it right now. I mean, there's no real light at the end of the tunnel by the looks of things, right? Wuhan, China, right now, there's still, I think every day they're down to single digits of deaths per day now. But I mean, we need to see that get to zero. And that'll start of hopefully, moving it over into North America and therefore into Europe as well. But the traveling's got to minimize. I mean, we canceled our trip April 4th. Yeah, April 4th, we were supposed to take off for 2 weeks to Mexico. That's it. We canceled that one, and we're supposed to go to England in May, and we said forget it. Cancel that one. So
I was in Mexico. I haven't heard about Mexico in so long.
Oh, beautiful. Puerto Vallarta is amazing. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful city. The people are amazing. It's just so fun to be down there. It's so cool, man. It really is.
Did you reschedule, or you're just gonna wait and see?
I'm sorry.
Did you reschedule, or are you going
to wait? No. I mean, we got the credit for the flights and whatnot. We're going to use it later on in the year. But we have a condo down there, so we go down there every year. I go down there with my partner in the fall to get ready for our renters. But April, we would usually go down for 2.5 weeks. So I had to cancel it. So because of everything that's going on. And, and it's the right thing to do, right? It's the right thing. I mean, you're right. You just said it. I might have the coronavirus. I don't know it, right? You can have it for 4 days. I don't want to be traveling and have that going down there. There's no way. I'd rather just stay home and buy some stocks.
Right.
By all means.
That was the time.
So what are you doing with your stocks then? What are you going to do? Just create a long list of ones that you want to target of all your favorites and start shooting them up?
So I actually got into M1 Finance recently. I just downloaded that app maybe a week ago or two. And I really like the way that they have the stocks allocated. So it's like when you do it on Robinhood, you have to buy individual stocks. And I know that they're trying to get into fractional shares, but they didn't let me do it yet. But on M1 Finance, I can do fractional shares. So if I want to buy $1,000, I can split it up exactly down to the last penny and just get everything that I want equal to proportion of 100%. So then that works out perfectly for me. Oh wait, Adidas CEO.
Yeah, Gen X, thanks for posting that.
Oh yeah, Gen X, man, thanks.
Thanks.
Right?
Yeah, let's hold that thought. Kenan, let's hold that thought. We'll get back to it. Let's talk about the Adidas situation here, because I think that's going to get a lot of flack over the next few weeks. Right?
Yeah.
And then Janice, next comment. Closing down is easy. Staying open is in a healthy environment requires courage, persistence, and focus. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's a weird way of saying we don't have enough money to pay for our bills and pay for our employees if they go away.
That's something. That is something. Oh, man, we got a lot to talk about. Ryan's saying that the airline companies. So are they starting to, with the airline companies, from what I understand, they're starting, obviously they're canceling the flights and whatnot, but they're actually grounding planes. And so they're not getting the slots in the at these certain airports. I mean, just yesterday, our prime minister said there's only going to be 4 in the whole country airports open to accept Canadians coming in, and US. You guys are more than welcome at any time. US visitors are always welcome, but if you're a Canadian citizen, we're kiboshing everybody coming in. As I said, only to 4 airports. That's all. So yeah, it's getting real right now. This is really interesting times, man. Really interesting times. Everybody stay safe. Wash your hands. 20 seconds.
Right. 20 seconds. I saw that the what was it? The Secretary of the Treasury. I forget his name, but he said him and Trump, they were on, I seen them on the news earlier today, and they were talking, and someone just mentioned it in the comments, and I'm glad they did, that everyone may get $1,000. And I'm just waiting for the memes of what people are doing with their $1,000. I think that's going to be just.
That would be interesting to see, right? That would be really interesting to see. Yeah, Trudeau said the same thing yesterday, I think it was. It's going to get a plan put together for everybody across the country. So we'll see what that amounts to. So if everybody could hit the like button, that'd be greatly appreciated, everybody, as usual. Thank you very much. Kevin, thanks for joining us. Woohoo. So let's see. So, okay, so you learned obviously through YouTube and whatnot. So did you actually have a mentor? Did you have somebody that taught you when you were younger how to be an investor?
No. No, literally no.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
Not one single person who I can call a mentor, but not because it's like this. It's not because people are. It's ignorance, but in the truest sense of the word. Ignorance is usually used as a derogatory term, but when you don't know something, you can't necessarily be malicious. So no one was malicious in not teaching me how to invest as a means to harm me or not help me to better my future. But the people around me, they really just didn't know. They really didn't know. And that's one of the beefs that I have with the higher education system, because there are so many people who have higher education, but they don't require you to take finance courses in your gen ed courses. You have to take certain math courses and certain science courses, but you don't have to take any finance courses in most universities. You can just fly straight through. And when you get a job, most people have a hard time filling out that W-2 form that they give you. And everyone has to do it that gets a job. Why don't we know how to do that at this point? Why isn't it being taught? So it's really weird and interesting. So then I just assumed that the reason I didn't know how to invest was because I just didn't encounter it. It almost wasn't a standard to learn how to invest, to learn how to do your taxes. And it was just like one of the things that you sort of had to stumble upon because of some wacky celebrity, it's weird. It's weird.
It is. It's, that's a good point that, it's kind of weird. Like how do you stumble across it? And as you said earlier, you got to be ready for it too.
You do.
Right? You really have to be ready. I was talking to a friend of mine. This is the last summer up at the cottage, and he's not an investor. And I was, trying to talk to him. There's a bunch of us trying to talk to him. He's got a lot of money, and his mom just passed away, and he is making a lot of money from the inheritance. And he just didn't even want to talk about it. He's like, "This is the weekend, man. I don't want to talk about this." And it was like, well, okay, fair enough, right? So you lead a horse forward, you can't make a drink sort of thing. But and then a few weeks later, he came back. He said, okay, man, I'm ready. I think I'm ready now. So we sat down and got him on the right track, and it was cool. It was good to see him turn around and do that sort of thing. So, all right. So going back in time, hindsight 2020, what advice would you give 15-year-old Kenan? What would you give him?
Invest in Bitcoin. Yeah.
Good one. Good
Go take out a loan.
Yeah. Good one.
Go invest in Bitcoin. Don't question it. Just do it.
Just do it, man. Just do it. Don't.
15-year-old me. But again, like I was saying, you can. The past is crystal clear.
Yeah.
What we should have done back then.
What should you have done back then? No kidding. Talk about fast. Wow.
And I think, I don't remember the return on Bitcoin. I think it was like 5,000 or 100,000% or something since like 2009. It was something crazy.
Yeah, I got mine in 2013. So
you did. So you got in at a good time.
I did okay. I did all right. So, and I just diversified it. I pretty much just at the back end of the peak. I started diversifying within other cryptos. So yeah, interesting. That was nice. You're just sitting on it, and that's it. Here's the kid's inheritance. Here you go. So what else? So apart from Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market, what else advice would you give 15-year-old self?
It would be to start looking into how you can invest now. So even things as simple as bonds or high yield savings account, something like that. Because I want to say I had $35,000 a few years back in the Bank of America, just sitting. And every single month, the interest rate on this big bank, the interest rate was so low that I was gaining I want to say maybe a quarter a month on that.
Okay.
But if I would have switched that exact $35,000 over to Discover Bank or Ally Bank or something, they would have been paying me like $50 a month almost just to have the money in the bank. And this is got to be the safest investment as long as you're beating inflation or even close. If you don't know how to invest, just something like that. But it's money in the bank, obviously, with inflation, you're going to lose. But it would have been growing quicker than that quarter that the Bank of America was giving me and keeping up with inflation better. So that's something. So it would have been definitely jokingly, but invest in Bitcoin. That would have been something. I would be like, hey, invest in Bitcoin, do it. Don't question who I am or why I look like this.
Yep. You're dropping a pull out.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what would I tell myself in the past? I was thinking about this. This had nothing to do with finance, but I was laughing to myself about this today. I was watching a movie, and I was actually watching the Netflix show, The Witcher. It's like a medieval show or something like that. And then there's a doppelganger guy. This had nothing to do with finance, guys, in the comments, but he was fighting basically a clone of himself to the death. And then I was thinking, if you had to fight yourself to the death, how would you win? That would be an extremely tough fight.
Probably one of your biggest challenges ever, fighting against yourself. You know every move.
You know every move.
You know every move, right? You know every move.
You get tired at the same time.
No kidding.
If you have a bad knee, they have a bad knee. It's just
Yep, absolutely. So hey, what makes a good investment for you?
So what makes a good investment for me? So I would say anything that beats inflation makes a good investment. At a very base. Now, generally though, if you want to, so if I ever hear someone doing something and they're beating inflation, I'll say, hey, you can do better than that if you learn these things. But I wouldn't feel like, oh man, they're losing money and they need help. They can use help. They don't necessarily need it. They're not flushing money down the toilet with the Bank of America. But with that being said, generally though, if you can get between 7 and 12% of a return in 1 year, that's excellent. So because it's better than any bond, it's better than any savings account. It's a positive return. It's beating inflation. So those are definitely good. And I know that Dave Ramsey, he always says, get a 12% return a year and put your money into something like that. And I'm like, how do we do that? All right. Because, over the last 100 years, the stock market has been on average going up about 10%, somewhere around 10. So if Dave Ramsey can find that 12, he needs to let me know about it. He can guarantee 12.
Absolutely, let everybody know. Tell me something that you're proud of that you've done.
Something that I'm proud of that I've done is one of my high school friends. I call him a friend. We haven't talked much in a while, but he reconnected with me because I made a Facebook because I started the YouTube channel. So I made a Facebook, I made a Twitter. So if you guys notice that I don't have many followers or subscribers or anything like that on these other platforms, because I kind of really just started it as a means of engaging with you guys who teach me so much. You guys teach me so much, like Hidden Freedom Investing, Gen X, Ryan, all you guys teach me so much. And
so true.
I love to be in the community with you guys. And what makes me proud though is this guy, he contacted me on Facebook and he was like, dude, I've been watching your videos and I made $20 on the stock market. And I was thinking like, he's learning how to invest and he wouldn't have done it otherwise. And like I was saying, when people around you aren't, like, for example, your boys, they're going to know how to invest, whether they choose to or not. They'll at least know that this is something that can be done because of your influence. But I didn't have that, and this guy didn't have that. So I had to just stumble upon a wacky celebrity doing a wacky thing, and then that sparked me. But now my influence was able to at least open a door in his mind, because the information that I put out, he was ready to see it. He was ready at the time. I couldn't make him ready, but I brought the horse to the water. You choose to drink or not, but I made it available. I made the opportunity available for you to see.
Yeah.
And that makes me proud.
Go ahead. Sorry, go.
I said that's what makes me proud.
Yeah. Good point. And yeah, I love the fact, like, you can lay everything out there, and whether or not people choose to accept it and do it is huge. Right? I'll throw the bait out for other entrepreneurs all the time. I will help them all the time as well. And, give them some ideas on investing also, but whether or not they're actually going to do it is really interesting. I'll sit back and just sit there and wait and see if they do it. And it's cool when they do, right? It's amazing. It's a great feeling. It really makes me feel proud. Right? So good for you, man. Good for you. What's the best piece of investing advice you've ever received?
I would say it's definitely a pretty common one, but it's the one from Warren Buffett, where he says something to the effect of, be fearful when others aren't fearful. I forget what it was exactly, but be fearful when others are greedy. When things now, everyone is fearful, and you, me, Ryan, Minds in Motion, Gen X, everyone, right? We're all like, yeah, the recession, we're gonna buy and buy and buy, right? This is great. And there's an entire other community of people somewhere right now having a live stream who are, oh my God, what are we gonna do, guys? Right? So it's like, we're having totally different experiences, but we are looking at the same thing, but we're just perceiving it differently due to the knowledge that we have and the experiences that we had. So it's that is something that I really, that's one of the best things about YouTube. Like, for example, I'm not a YouTube partner right now. Maybe one day I'll become one. But I honestly, someone asked me, so what are your goals? What are your goals on YouTube? And then I was like, oh, my goal is to be able to teach people how to invest. And then they were like, that's your goal? I was like, yeah, that's cool. Right? And and I was thinking, like, have you watched any of my videos? Does that not seem like my goal?
Yeah.
That's totally my goal. But then they were like, no. Like, how many subscribers do you want? How much money do you want to be making off of this? Do you want to live off of this? And I was thinking, like, I never considered that. Like, obviously, like, we all thought of it. Like, we hear Graham say he makes like $160,000 a month or something like that, like on YouTube. That's great, but it just seems like kind of like being the right guy at the right time and having the right skill set. So I love that, and I would like to have that. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? But like, that's not why. That's not my why. My why is to help you find yours, to help you find your why you are worth investing into yourself. So then when I see that And I think that people are sort of gravitating towards that, and they see that I'm really not really trying to just better me. I'm trying to better other people. And I do this in an effort to, let's say, when I post a video about how to make $18,000 a month or $18,000 and give it to your kid on their 18th birthday, or the 5 best dividend stocks like I just did. And then I see people in the comments like, oh, you know, I've been investing into realty for 20 years, 10 years, however long, and they're great. Or, you know what, I've tried this one, and I don't think that one is a reputable company. Like I learned, I post a video, we have a discussion in Discord in my comments, and then I learned so much from that. And
good.
When I learned it, like I was telling you, since I was studying psychology a little bit, and this isn't my profession, but just like as an interest, I see that there is sometimes you have to assimilate things into what you already know, but there's also a time you have to accommodate and just let go of that framework and then just let it go and pick up a better one. Because I could have very well just said, guys, I saw the movies, and there's always the rich girl, and her dad loses everything, and now they're living in poverty now, right? So investing is scary. We don't want that to happen to us. Don't invest. So it's like I could have just went with that, but we have to be rational. We have to be logical. We have to be greedy when others are fearful. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but we have to do it, and we have to have certain principles too. So that's one of the things that I try to have on my channel. The principle of just what my goal is, how can I help you? And if I succeed, one thing, and I'll tell you this, one thing about like even the Black community, for example, that we are often described as, and even describe each other as, is like, you might have a crab in a bucket mentality. You might hear something like that as a Black person growing up, hearing other Black people say this. So then what I am doing is showing that if I win, you will win too, because I won't step on you to get up, whether you are white, Asian, Indian, anything. I'm not going to step on others to get up. If I find my way out and I grab the exit door, I'm going to reach down and I'm going to grab you and try to show you the way too. You can choose to hold on to my hand and try to come with me, but you don't have to. This is your choice, but the hand is extended for you to reach out for it.
Good. I love it. I love it. Good job, buddy. Out there helping people. I love it. It's fantastic. So we were talking earlier today before we went live, everybody, and we were watching one of Kenan's with my 2 boys on the couch. I was watching one of his videos. And if you guys haven't had a chance to sit down, how many videos do you have now? 14, 15-ish?
I think I have about 14 or 15, yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't had a chance to sit down and watch his videos, they're up there with Gen X's the way I see it. Like, you're a great speaker and you're moving around, and it's just really captivating. It really keeps your interest level peaked high all the time. And I was showing it to my 2 guys, and he's got this one video where father sets sail, goes across the ocean, and you get the pirates come in, and the kids are laughing. And then they really screamed out and laughed when, you know, the baby was the saver and just basically went and buried the money that he got from the inheritance from his dad. Don't know how the baby did it, but he buried the money. My 2 kids on either side of me like, bah! So your videos they're entertaining. They really, really are. So if anybody gets a chance to go back and, you know, check out Kenan's channel and sit down, grab some popcorn, you know, a beer, whatever, and just watch a few of his videos. They're really, really well done. You put a lot of effort and thought into it. You know, good. Like, seriously, I applaud you, because like those videos are so good. For anybody wanting to learn to invest and what it's all about, you lay it out there on that visual board of yours. So you do an amazing job. Great job. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. You're definitely going to help out a lot more. So you got 13, 14 videos now. You need like 14,000 videos like that, you know, and really get out there far reach. So name, you've read some books and what, obviously, you know, growing up and whatnot. What book positively shaped you, do you think? There's one that you can point to?
So, you know what's funny though? You're asking about a book. My wife, her favorite poem is one that it kind of shows the innocence. What I was talking earlier about the ignorance of just not knowing, like ignorance in its purest sense. You just don't know. You're not being malicious. You just don't know. where you're living and spending your money in a way in which you just don't understand it. So you don't understand finances, but you're not trying to make bad decisions. You just don't have the information to make better ones. So, and what we do here is try to help you to make better ones on my channel, on everyone's channel, pretty much within the entire community. Shout out to Victor, my guy. And it's a poem. I forget what it's called, but it's there's a guy. His name is, I want to say Shel Silverstein or something like that. And it's called like The Smartest Kid. And did I write that down? No, I didn't write that down. But it's like this. There's a kid and he has $1. And this is a poem. Or it might be a little short story, but he has $1. And his dad gives him $1. So he says, wow, I have $1. So then he finds a friend. And he said, that friend has 2 quarters. So he trades them because 1 is less than 2. So now he has 2 quarters. And now that he has 2 quarters, he meets someone else. And then he trades them the 2 quarters for like 4 pennies or something like that. And then he goes to his dad and he says, Dad, look, now I have 4. And then his dad is just so, he says, look at my dad. My dad is so red in the face with pride.
Quantity over quality.
It's like, and us hearing that as people who have the knowledge, we can decipher that this person is making wrong decisions based off of the information that they have. He doesn't know that one single dollar holds more value, even though it's less than 4 pennies. But it holds more value than 4 pennies, but he just doesn't know. So it's like just little short stories like that. And that's why I thought about this, because you brought up how your boys like were interested in like that type of delivery. And when you hear things like this, if we tell a kid this story, they'll then learn that, oh, okay, like you tell a young kid, like a 3-year-old or something, oh, so dollars do have more value than pennies. They'll learn that, but they'll learn it in a fun way that'll stick with them. And that stuff is just it's so important to try to deliver content. So this is one thing that I try to talk to when I'm teaching people about anything, really. I try to really think about my delivery. So imagine this, guys. Imagine that you receive an envelope and you don't know what's in the envelope. And there's 2 envelopes and you receive them on the same day. You have one in both hands. And one of them is covered in dog excrement.
Uh-oh.
The other one smells like the perfume or the cologne of the most attractive person you've ever seen and ever gave a hug to. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, totally like this one that's presented well. Versus the envelope that has dog poop on it. And what you'll think is this. I don't even want to pick that one up. I don't want to touch it. What if both of them had the Powerball, the winning Powerball numbers in them? But you wouldn't even know because you wouldn't touch the one that's delivered to you poorly. If I tried to hand you an envelope covered in poop, you wouldn't take it. But I didn't tell you that the content is so valuable. It's the winning Powerball numbers. If you would have known, you would have taken it. But it's being delivered to you in such a way that it turns you off. But if I gave it to you in a way where it smells good, it reminds you of good time, you would take it. And it could just be $1 in there or be nothing in there. I could be serving you for court. So with that being said, the delivery of the message is the companion of the content, because your content can be worth the Powerball, but depending on how you deliver it to people will dictate whether or not not dictate, but influence heavily their ability to receive it.
Good point. I love it. Describe yourself 5 years from now.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be ripped, right? I'm gonna be ripped. I'm gonna have I'm gonna have 2 YouTube channels. One of them is gonna be me on my yacht, just drinking a nice lemonade in Mexico.
Beautiful. I like it.
So if I could describe myself in 5 years, I would like to have everything that I have now, with more capital in the market, more capital in the bank, my positions exponentially higher, but I don't want my lifestyle. I want my lifestyle to remain the same. I drive a 2011 Nissan Sentra, like I was telling you guys. I hope I still have that car.
I had a Nissan Sentra years ago too.
Yep. I hope I still have that car then, and if I don't, I hope someone else bought me a nicer car. But I don't want to have to buy it. I want my things that I have to remain the same, because this is something. And one of the things I made a video about lifestyle creep and lifestyle inflation, and how we can get more money or income coming in and then use it right away on things that don't pay us dividends, or things that don't increase in value, or even restaurants or food or anything like that. And I have nothing against other people doing that. People can do whatever they want to do, but I've actually had a very traumatic experience in 2016 that really shaped the way that I see what I have now, and it really made me appreciate it right now. So 2016, I got engaged to my wife back then, and we did it, and I had everyone in the entire room. It was like a big thing. I sent her on a like a what would you call it, like a search and like an Easter egg hunt, but I sent her on like a hunt, and she would go to all of the best places that we went to. Like, for example, she would go to the zoo because we had like some of our first dates there, and then she would go to our favorite restaurant, and then she would go to our like movie spot, right? And then she's going around the town, and then she's going to come back to where I live, and me and all of her family were there in the room when they had signs, and this happened, and they had the signs. But when she went to all of these places, I strategically placed people in these places to meet her. Like, her dad and her grandpa were at the zoo. Her mom and her grandmom were at the smoothie shop.
That is amazing,
right? And she's going.
That's so cool.
And then she comes back because she's always been so good to me, and so I wanted to make this really special for her. So then she comes back, and then the whole family, my whole family, her whole family, we're in the house, we're in the living room. She comes in, and they're like, surprise, and then I'm like, like, will you marry me, right? And it was great. But then what was so great about it was the people, everyone that was there. And to bring back what happened to me that was traumatic was my grandma, at my mom's mom, she was there too. She was in attendance, and she's elderly and was getting sicker. And my wife, for the last year and a half, she could see what I couldn't see. So she could see that my grandma's health was deteriorating. And this is my good old grandma, I love her, and I just love her so much, and I really couldn't see it. Maybe I didn't want to see it. So my wife, then fiance, would make sure that we would go see her more often and more often and more often. And I'm thinking to myself, man, we're sure going to see my grandma a lot. This is interesting, and I love her, right? This is great. So and then she passed away, and then she didn't make it to my wedding.
Oh, that's too bad.
But she was there for the engagement. She didn't make it to the engagement, and it really hurt me, and it made me think, like, all of the money and all of like everything that I have now, I would trade it. I would trade everything if I could just have the people that I had then now. So when I think about where I want to be in 5 years, it makes me think I want to be where I am with who I have, because I appreciate them so much. Because I could become a billionaire, but not have a person like you who wants to do an interview with me on YouTube, but just people who are interested in helping me and helping each other and things like that. Or we could move up financially, and then the things that we lose along the way that we weren't focused on when we had them. So where do I see myself in 5 years? I really, really hope that I have health, and I have more wealth, and I have the people that I love and need.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will, man. I'm sure you will. And that's a beautiful vision, man. Go for it. You'll do it. You're probably already doing it. You might continue on with it. You will, man. You will. That's a beautiful story, man. Thanks for sharing that one. That was very, very nice. Really cool of you. So what were some mistakes that you might have made in the past that you wish that you hadn't made? Okay.
So some mistakes that I made in the past. So I made a video about this one, and let's get back to a lighter energy. I made a video about this one, and
beautiful.
I actually, when I first got hired in my position that I'm in now, I the first thing I did was go to the BMW store that's like almost down the street from where I live.
Right.
And I saw a car that looked like the Batmobile. And I was ready to drive off the lot with that Batmobile, right?
Yeah.
So I got in it. It had the new car smell, and I swear it was the real new car smell. I know sometimes they spray the car down with the new car. They actually have a spray. They spray the car to smell like a new car. So I think this was the real new car smell. So I was in the car, and I'm like, wow, two doors, 2 seats. The doors go up like this, right? So I was like,
beautiful.
This and my income had jumped like 15 or 20 times from what I was making like literally the week before. So I was thinking, wow, I had no mortgage. All I had was like a cell phone bill. I knew my student loan bill was coming, but I was like, oh, that's nothing, right? So I was thinking like, oh, this is gonna be a $900 car payment. Got it. Let's do it, right? So then I call one of my guys up, and I'm like, dude, I'm in the Batmobile right now. He's like, no. So he's like, send me a picture. So I sent him a picture, and he's like, oh yeah, let's do it, right? And this is a good guy. But he was just like, he had my back, so he was pumped for me.
Yeah, nice.
This is what I wanted, so this is what he wanted from me. So I was like, yeah, dude, right, let's do it. And then
you hit the turning point.
I called my better half, and I'm telling her, I'm like, yeah, right, I got the Batmobile, we're gonna get the Batmobile. And she was like, come home and think about it.
Yeah.
So then I left.
Wise, yep.
Right? I
Words
left,
of wisdom, man. Words of wisdom.
That to this day, I would have had that not $800 car payment. I probably wouldn't even be a YouTuber. I'd just be paying this debt. I'd be a person in Dave Ramsey's comments talking, baby step 2, guys, where are you?
Yeah. No kidding. The words of wisdom came through for you, huh?
Yeah.
I hope you wake up every morning thanking her.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I love, my goal is, like I was saying before, to be independent. And I know that investment takes time, like a lot of time, but it's something that you can do slowly over a lot of time. Oh, yeah. And side note, have you guys ever heard this? Christopher Columbus, he set sail and landed, whatever happened, in 1492. I think that was the year. That's like 528 years ago. If you were making $5,000 a day, no interest, no inflation, $5,000 a day since 1492, even if every single year was a leap year, so $5,000 times 365 or 66, whichever one, $5,000 a day times 365 days in a year, for 528 years, you would still not be a billionaire. You'd have about 700 or $970 billion, which is great, but it's not 1 billion. Put into perspective, people like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Putin, all these other people have hundreds, if not $130 billion. But if you were saving $5,000 a day for 365 days every single day for 528 years, you would still not be a billionaire. And that's crazy. That's crazy. So it's like, it's so crazy. It's like, but we sometimes we have to just have a new definition of wealth. Yeah. For example, if I was getting $5,000 a day, I would feel like I was rich, and I could be doing that for 528 years and still never be a billionaire. Yeah. But I would feel rich. That would be rich to me because my expenses are nowhere near what I would need to have earned $5,000 a day. So my goal is to look at things like, for example, my newest video, I was saying, if you had, I forget the exact numbers, but if you had like $20,000 in, let's say, Realty, a corporation, then they'd pay you about $20 a month at their current interest rate, right, or their current dividend yield. Yeah. So that would pay for Netflix for you for the rest of your life, because Netflix is under $20, even if you had the best premium subscription. So what I want to do is things like that, things that I just keep putting money in, and I'm saying, who's paying for who's paying for that car payment on that Batmobile? Apple. Apple's paying for it. So So then I would feel like, wow, it's okay to have. And my guy Curtis on a Poor Millionaire, he said something like, it was something to the effect of, let your play money be the money that your investments earn you. Don't go to work and then earn capital, or use the capital from your business to pretty much just go and buy toys. Buy toys with the dividends or the residual income from these things. Because
Absolutely.
then you'll see that this stuff is almost always coming. So it's not really like a waste.
Yeah.
So and the last point that I wanted to make really quickly about,
And never touch the nut. Never touch the nut.
There you go. There you go.
Never
Listen to that, guys.
Right? Never touch the nut. It's always producing for you. Don't touch it. Right?
If you had about $2 million, one of my favorite stocks right now is called SPHD. It's an index fund, and it's high dividend, low volatility index fund, SPHD.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I really like about it is, and I did a calculation on my last video, that if I was to have $2 million in SPHD, then it would pay me $5,300 a month indefinitely, right? So what that made me think of was, that's not $5,000 a day, but $5,300 a month. I can think of 5,300 good reasons why I like that.
Yeah.
So it made me think, like, people like Zion and all these other, like Michael Jordan and NBA players, like, sometimes they get checks from endorsements that are bigger than that, bigger than $2 million or something like that. So for example, the basketball player Allen Iverson that I made, and I think maybe my third video, I was talking about how he ended up getting like a $90 million check in the 90s. So imagine what inflation would have done to that price or that worth today.
Yeah.
Right? Or even putting half of that even in a bond, something safe, like, or whatever you can do, right? Whatever he could have done with that, I don't know. But he pretty much blew a lot of it. But if you have $2 million in let's say SPHD or O or something like that, or Maine or Triple M, 3M, then they pay you like $5,300 a month. Let's times that by 10, because NBA players and other people have $20 million even in checks sometimes.
Yeah.
That would give you $53,000 a month. Now, if you're living a life, and it would give you that almost indefinitely. If you are living a life, and keep in mind, some of these NBA players have $200, $300 million, and like Mike Tyson, for example, had $500 million in the 90s, and then doesn't have anywhere near that today. But if you're spending more than that, then you are living a lifestyle that I would not be comfortable living. But I don't want to judge anybody, but I just would not be comfortable living such an extraordinary life like that.
Yeah, good point. Really good point. There's a lot of NBA players, it's unfortunate, that just don't, was it 80% of them 6 years after they leave the NBA are pretty much broke?
Yeah.
So I've heard that. Yeah, Dave, I don't know if Iverson is broke now or not. I don't know. There's quite a few stories out there. Number 8 on Boston years ago, Antoine Walker. I mean, he made over $108 million, and now he's playing the G League just to cover his basic expenses. I mean, it's really sad. It's too bad, right? It really is too bad. But now I know that from what I've heard, that they've got some advisors coming in, financial advisors coming into the league, and direct the guys on the right route. So Dave also wished I did the same thing. Yep, absolutely. Buy a new car. He had bought a Bentley. Had his guy invest into gold, in a year less than a year later, he had enough money. He retained the gold investment, plus he had a new Bentley. So yeah, there you go. See, I love those stories. Love those stories. Tiffany, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for joining us. So you're on the right road. Like, you're doing amazing right now. Obviously, I mean, in your mind right now, obviously you're very successful. You're doing very well, right? You're learning and you're growing. And so what habits do you contribute? What do you, habits of your own would you say contributed to you being, what you're doing right now? What was it?
I would say the best habit that I have is more so of my willingness to listen. I would think that that's really it. That's really it. Like, I think for myself, but I am willing to listen to other people's side and what they have to say. And I mean, really listen. Some people listen and they're ready to respond. But if you listen sometimes you may have to pause just so you can really digest what they're saying, and so you can absorb it. And that's been the case in my entire life. But I've never bumped into someone who was investing. But I think earlier in life, if I would have done that, I would have totally absorbed it. But the ability to listen and to then let go of things that I had that are then proven unhelpful to me.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we can get into habits. We're all human and no one is perfect. But once we decide that we are without fault, we are then with almost every fault, because we cannot be changed and we cannot grow and we cannot evolve. So this is such, oh yeah, Shaq is really good with his money. But
Yeah.
this is the thing, is that we really have to be able to open our ears and listen. So like when I watch all of you guys' videos, I'm there and I'm like a sponge, and I just listen, totally listen. That's a habit. So open your ears and listen to other people, and genuinely, especially, this is a research trick that I learned from a professor when I went to school. He said, when you have an opinion on something, and you just think something, Google the exact opposite and see what other people are saying. So if you think investing is dangerous, Google, why isn't investing dangerous? Why isn't investing dangerous? Or if you think investing is totally safe and there's no way for you to lose any money, Google, how can you lose money investing? So then you can get a rounded picture and then come to your own conclusion. But you don't just have, just everyone preaching to the choir. You go and hear the other side and then use discernment and make your decision based off of the whole picture rather than just the picture that you like. So open your ears. Do not let lifestyle inflation happen to you. If you start to earn more money, if something happens to you and a great thing happens to you and you decide, and all of a sudden you're getting $5,000 a day, don't go spend $5,000 a day.
No.
Maybe if you want to let your lifestyle improve a little bit, do it in a calculated way. Think about what percentage of this would do a thing for you. For example, let's say you're getting $5,000 a day out of nowhere, including the things that you have now. Don't go spend $5,000 a day. You don't know when this well is going to run dry. So what you should do is maybe up your lifestyle. If you are going to do it, I wouldn't, but if you were going to do it, say, I'm going to up it maybe 10% of what I'm already doing, 20% of what I'm already doing, but no more than that. Like literally put yourself on a budget, Google Sheets, download an app, something, just to calculate how much you're going to up it. That's really the key. Lifestyle inflation, stay away from it. Open your ears and listen. Those are the habits, so you can be able to grow.
Yeah, smart. So what do you admire most in people around you?
What do I admire most in people around me?
Yeah.
I admire when people around me show compassion for others, because it used to be a point in my life, as like I was telling you, I'm in education. So sometimes you'll meet younger people than you who are phenomenally smarter than you. They just don't have the experience that you have.
Right.
But you can see something about the wiring in this kid is there. Like imagine if you were Albert Einstein's professor or something like that. Like not all kids are going to be like this, but if you're Albert Einstein's professor, you're going to say, something about this kid, right? Like you can tell that he's operating on a level that you're not on. And like that stuff, as an educator, it'll really, really, really impress you. However, you may very well miss some of the important things. Like there are mad geniuses in the world who are extremely smart people who have that intellect, who are smarter than you, but they aren't necessarily using that power for good all the time. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. So in seeing this, I then started to value not only intellect, but also social intelligence, where you can identify in other people when they need a hand, when they need help, when they need someone to talk to. The biggest lie of all time is I'm fine. People tell you that they're fine, but they're not really fine. They just aren't ready to have the conversation, or they don't think that you're the person to have the conversation with. So, but other people can recognize that, and others. And other people can recognize when, like you and I were talking about in the beginning of this, where we try, like when you were trying with the person at the bar, I think you were at a bar, and he came into a lot of money all of a sudden. You could have gotten into an argument with him. You could have definitely gotten into an argument with him and completely, and man, you need to do this. You have an opportunity right now. You're being dumb, right? Like you could have really went back and forth with this guy and completely lost that relationship forever over something that didn't mean anything to you yesterday.
Yeah. So true. No, it's all,
to navigate through that.
Yeah. You just gotta lay it out there and then try and help people, and whether or not they, accept it or not is if they're not ready, they're not ready, right? If they're not in the right mindset, like you said earlier, right? If they're not in the right mindset, they're not in the right mindset. Right. So, or they're a little fearful still, and they haven't been educated enough yet, then they're not ready, right? At the end of the day, they're just not ready. So they'll jump up board when they're ready, if they ever are. Hopefully they are. The best you can do, obviously, is just like lay it out there and try and help people, right? That's all you can do. And hopefully they're going to bite. So there you go. When do you feel, so let's go through a day with you. Like you're working throughout the day and whatnot. So when do you actually sit down and do all your research that you need to do for your investing? When do you get a chance to do that? In the evening?
Yeah, so pretty much in the evening. So I'm kind of I was on a 4-day cycle when I first started.
Right.
Since my videos have gotten a little bit better in quality, I've had to do even more research than before. So I started it off.
Why ask you questions about that afterwards? Okay.
Right? I started off on pure experience. Like, oh, this is something that I've learned. This is something that I've learned. I just made like 4 or 5 videos like that. But then I kind of like, oh, I still need to teach. So I had to go and then update what I know and what I learned. So now what I had to do was do a lot of research on all the different kinds of companies and different kind of strategies of investing, right? So a day would be, let's say I post a video that day. I plan on spending the rest of the day pretty much in the comments. People send me a comment, and then I respond to the comment. I try to be thoughtful. I try to let them know that I'm watching your videos. I really am watching your videos, and I'll try to discuss something like that with you about the content. And then the next day, sometimes I'll start writing down ideas. So I have this iPad, and in my notes, I have a note called 100 video ideas. So it may be less or more than 100, but something pops in my head, I'll write it. Good. So that'll be the day after I post a video. And then the next day, I'll start writing just like a rough skeleton script or talking points to talk about, because sometimes, as you guys see, I can just talk in front of the camera sometimes. So I'll think, am I going to sort of like freestyle this one, or am I going to read from a script and do this one? So then I'll work that out. And then the next day I'll think, is today the day that I'm going to do like the cutouts or something like that? So I have to prepare for that. Or is today the day where I'm going to like try a different approach to see how this one pans out? And then the day after that, maybe the 4th or 5th day, I'll start recording it. And then I try to record it just straight. I record it straight, and then I chop it up, and I give myself like 2 days to edit the video. And then once it's out, I publish it, and then I'm back in the comments again, starting the cycle over again.
Holy mackerel. How long does it take you on average to do from start to finish one of your videos?
From start to finish, I would say, like if I started a video today, I could probably, what's today? Today's Tuesday? I could probably finish it by Saturday or Friday. But I really try to be meticulous, not like a perfectionist, but like I don't want to put out something that isn't true. So, we all make mistakes, but I don't want to put out something that I am not so informed on. Like, for example, you and we were talking about, I meant to say this. We were talking about, you had the hazmat suit on and you took it off right before this, right? So you were telling me about that mask right there, right? And you were saying it's triple M, right?
Yes, so, it is 3M product. There you go, Dave. 3M product. There you go.
So I want, in the video that I just did about my top 5 list of dividend stocks, I wanted to include 3M in that list. So I didn't, though, because I didn't have enough information. I'm not invested in 3M yet. I may look into it, but then I started seeing all kinds of things like 3M this and 3M that. So then I was like, I don't have enough information on 3M yet for me to make a video on it. So then that type of thing will impede my process and make it like a little longer, because I don't like to talk about things that I don't know. So if it seems like I'm talking about something and like, oh wow, you know, you can really go on about that. It's because another strategy that I have is only talk about things that you know well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only talk about things that you know well. In other case, if you don't know it well, that doesn't mean don't have the conversation. It means now you should be more of a listener. You should be more of a listener. If you know it well, you can talk about it well. If you don't know it well, it's going to show. And it's okay if you don't know it well. The only way for other people to teach you is for them to understand that you don't understand yet, but you're willing to learn it.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Okay, I would say first word I would go with is I would say I am a I don't know, man. This is a new one for me.
Come on, you can do it.
I think I'm a different person than I was, and I would say now I gotta go with softy. I'm getting soft. I'm getting soft, man.
All right. That's one.
That's number one.
Need 2 more.
Before I was like, yeah, this is the way, but now I'm like, I need a hug.
Got it.
So, I would also go with ambitious. I'm ambitious, and
Good.
I am willing to take risks. So like not a risk taker, but like a person, whatever the word is for that. You're willing to take an educated guess or risk. So that's a part of me, because like this, I won't just go out and buy BitConnect stock or anything like that. So, but I will take a risk that I think will work out, and I know that some people won't step into that at all. And honestly, coming from a point of miseducation where I didn't know much about investing at all, even getting into the investing world seemed like a risk, like a huge risk. Like, oh, this is totally a gamble. No one knows what's going to happen. And then I'm looking into the stats, looking into the history, looking into the company's policies and what the products they have and things like that. And I'm like, oh, wait, this is totally less of a risk than what I was going to do otherwise. So those are my 3.
Good. Excellent. What stocks are you looking at for the next little while?
Again, I would say in terms of individual stock that isn't an index fund related, I would say Apple.
Stocks.
Apple. I really trust Apple. I got a hot take.
Got it. What else? Anything else?
Tesla.
Gotta say Tesla on the show for sure.
Tesla. I think Tesla. Now, the reason that it could be another company, right? But I think that Tesla has captured so much of the market share in terms of like the automated car industry that it doesn't matter almost. And this is complete speculation, guys. This could change tomorrow. Like I was telling you, like new information, I'll accept. But Tesla, it's what they're doing is they're creating something that is going to be a huge game changer specifically for truck drivers, because they're creating cars that can drive themselves on the highways.
Yep.
The trucks that they're creating that can drive themselves on the highways seems like they're going to put truck drivers in a really tough spot. The same way that self-checkout put cashiers in a really tough spot.
Yeah.
Because it's inevitable. You can fight it all you want, but it just seems like the future is going the route of automation. And trucks that drive themselves, they don't have a union. So big companies are going to love that. They don't really need health care and life insurance and all these benefits. They just need standard maintenance and to be built. And you can probably hire the same guy or the same 5 guys to monitor 1,000 trucks. So it seems like Tesla is really training their cars to think and learn on the road for when all of the trucks come in. So then that's why I really think Tesla is a good long-term play. So, and honestly, most any business that's been around for a while is a good deal now, depending on how you invest. So if you want to invest short-term, in my opinion, under 5 years, I would call, for me personally, short-term investment. I have no idea what the stock market is going to do within 5 years. But over 5 years, I'm willing to bet, like a Vegas bet, that it'll be higher than it is now. Now, I'm not investing for 5 years, though. I'm investing for 10 plus, maybe even 30. So I would bet a lot of money.
A lot of time ahead of you, buddy.
I sell. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot higher, because you could have bought anything, any good company, let's say, because some companies went out of business, but you buy any quality company at the peak in 2008 or 2009. Oh yeah, you know what's crazy about Nikola Motors?
Yeah,
Nikola Tesla. Like, it's like this dude's name is like competing companies. It's weird. So yeah. So you could have bought at the peak of 2008 or 2009 and be like, man, I bought right before it dipped. Anytime you would have bought then, Amazon was cheaper then at the peak. Apple was cheaper then. Everything was cheaper then. As long as you're playing a long game, you're gonna come out on top.
Absolutely.
Quality company.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Long-term investing, long-term dividend investing. Just love it. Boring, but the Warren Buffett mentality. Hang on to it for years and years and years, right?
Yeah.
Create that monthly cash flow from all the dividends, and that's it. And just don't touch the capital. Just leave it in there. So
right.
I find that these are such exciting times. It's unfortunate it's because of the coronavirus that's occurring, but I mean,
right.
Such exciting times, seriously. So do you have a long list of stocks that you're looking at in REITs and ETFs, or things that you're going to be targeting over the next little while? Do you have a strategy behind all this?
Yeah, my main strategy is just dollar cost averaging in.
Good.
And I think that's a pretty standard strategy. I know mathematically that just dumping a large sum in at one point mathematically can get you a higher yield over down the line, and it can actually be significantly higher. But I am not necessarily comfortable with doing that, because I'm not as aggressive of an investor that I really feel like that's what I need.
Yeah.
And so right, that's hilarious. That's
great. You're no kidding, eh? It's pretty funny, actually. The first and last names. Isn't it something?
like if 100 years from now there was a Kenan and then a Grace company, and they're like
they're going after each other, eh? You never know what your legacy may be. You never know, right?
Right. I'd be rolling in my grave like, what the hell? I'm sure his descendants are like, just what
the hell is going on here? This is not. Those Nikola trucks are looking pretty cool. I mean, but it's true, like what Ryan just said. You know what? Start selling the product first and then talk. That's all talk right now. But until the actual sales are there with the trucks and whatnot, let's see what the real story is. So interesting times, man. It's a great time to be alive. There's like so many cool things going on. Isn't it wild? It's so cool, right? So unfortunately, most of us are on lockdown right now. But hey, it's not so bad, pretty much. So, do you have a favorite quote that motivates you?
A favorite quote that motivates you?
Yeah, anything from one of your investor buddies like Warren Buffett or anybody else along those lines. So you like to pass on to everybody else watching right now?
Let me think about that one. Do you have one?
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Since I was a kid.
There's one that I heard. I don't necessarily stick to it, but it does kind of go back to where you have to appreciate what you have in a way. But it was like there's a bird in the hand is worth more than two birds in the bush.
Yeah. So,
and that one is like, you have something. Don't let it go to go and try to get more necessarily. But even with that kind of thinking, all of these like quotes and things like that, they're just generally, like I would say, rules of thumb, because they differ depending on who you are and where you are and what's going on. Because, for example, a bird in the hand is better than two birds in the bush. But if you could somehow cage the bird in your hand and go get the bird in your bush or in the bush, then you can have two. But you just have to use a strategy to figure out how you can navigate through it. But secure what you have for sure. Secure what you have, and then go out and use that to get it. Use that stability, that foundation, to then go out and get more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're a freedom type kind of guy by the sounds of it, right? That's you just want to keep, invest and grow and create your future freedom. What's your long-term plan on this? When do you think you're actually going to be, get to that point where you're actually be able to sit down and say, that's it, man, grab a glass of wine and just sit back and say, I have now achieved it. How long do you think before you can actually achieve that?
So I actually have, I'm pretty sure we all have like, Excel sheets or budget sheets, and we really could tell you where this thing is going at different rates. So,
yep.
like I
pro forma number
in about 15 years, if I even up my expenses a little bit, if I plan on not doing it all, but you never know. But you never know what can happen. Like, I don't have any kids. I might have kids or something like that, but you never know. So, in 15 years, maybe 12, depending on, like I was saying, if I get that Dave Ramsey mythical 12 per turn, right? Then I could do this in 10, and then just be completely financially free. And I don't feel trapped at all. I love what I do, and I love the people that I have and the things that I'm doing and the time that I'm spending in my life.
Good.
But it would just be much better if I could just choose to do it instead of kind of having to do it. So, but yeah, I'm saying if things don't go as planned, because things never really go as planned, things go how they go. So if things go as planned, 15 years for sure. But if they don't go as planned, maybe 20. But I'm 29. If I was 49 and I'm where I want to be, that works. Like that totally works.
Absolutely, man. You'd be still so young. That's fantastic. Good for you, man. Good for you. There's nothing better than freedom. There's nothing better every day. I've got my one post that says, wake up, hustle and grind and make every day Saturday, right? So that's the best feeling when you can wake up and it's just like, man, I can sleep in every morning if I want to.
Right. What day of the week is it again? Like that.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. So my wife says that every so often. What day is it? She knows, like with the live streams or Taekwondo at night, she knows what day it is sometimes. So
right. Wait, your kids do Taekwondo at night?
Sorry?
Your kids do Taekwondo at night?
They do. Yeah, they do it with us. Their classes were 4 hours. So last night was the last night. They had to close down the dojang for a while because of the shutdowns, the closure. Yeah. So
did they shut all of them down?
Well, the one that we go to, yeah, I'm sure like all the competitors are probably shut down as well, unfortunately. Right up there with the gyms, like we said earlier, unfortunately. Sign of the times right now. So got to work out at home or in the backyard maybe when it gets a little bit warmer. But anyways, all right. So what else would you like our community to know about you? It was very cool getting to get to know more in depth about you tonight. So this is fantastic. But what else would you like to or a message that you'd like to send out to our community? What else would you like them to know about you, or a message that you'd like to send out? What do you think?
Oh, Q, my guy.
Yeah, Q. Hey.
So I would say one thing that I really want, like one thing that I really want, and now that I'm on your platform, which is bigger than my platform, so I probably get more people to see it, is if nothing else, think about everyone that you have in your life and let them know. You don't always have to say it. Sometimes how you feel comes across through your actions. But just let them know that they mean something to you in some way. You don't have to go and say, I love you, and just give them a hug. Maybe you do that with someone, maybe you don't. But that's something that I really think you guys should think about in terms of what you have now. Because for example, I was watching one of Q's videos, and it may be his most recent video. I watch so many of you guys' videos that sometimes the time frame and they blend. So, but his most recent video, I think he was talking about how someone impacted him in the comments, and they said that his videos, sometimes he talks about, a struggle that he may have had, but how he said that he may have to let go of this struggle and really see the things that he values, like his child and like just the things that are really, really important that you have now and how far you've come from where you used to be.
Right.
And that, if nothing else, like, yeah, of course I want you guys to subscribe to Kenan Grace on YouTube and like this video and all that stuff. But I feel like I have a rare opportunity to say something more valuable than that.
Yeah. 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 Connect and help out one another. Why not? And work together as a community. I mean, there's so much to learn here. There's so much information that all of us have got upstairs that, it needs to get out there and for us to learn from one another and appreciate one another. It's cool, man. It's a great community we got here, man. Seriously. You know that, right? So, but I gotta say, everybody, check out Kenan's channel right now, man. Get there and subscribe. Let's go. Let's try and get a few more subscribers to him tonight and whatnot, and share this out so people in the future can, share out this live stream if you guys can, so people in the future watching this can also go to his channel and help him out and whatnot. So, but hey guys, thanks for everybody joining tonight. I mean, if there's anything else that you'd like to say, I mean, we could wrap it up. I don't want to take much more of your time. It's been an hour and a half already. It's been amazing. It's gone by fast. Thanks a lot, man. You said a lot tonight. So is everybody got any questions? We'll keep it open for a couple more minutes. Or if there's anything else, Kenan, that you want to say to the community, everybody else, that'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, I got. So one thing was I think this went so well. Like sometimes I'm
it's fun.
Am I gonna stumble up? Do I have anything to say on the video? But I think this is cool. Would you mind if I posted this on my channel?
Sorry. Yeah. No. Go for it. Absolutely. Absolutely. For sure. We'll definitely get the. Get the Kenan Grace information out there, and people need to hear you talk more, man. Seriously. So that's the idea. This was your show tonight. It's about you and us getting to know you more and what makes you a great investor like you are, and your YouTube channel as well, the videos that you make and everything. Like, what's your future plan for your video channel as well? Like, where do you want that? What direction do you want that going in?
Okay, so I honestly wanted to go to a point where I can post more often. And I'm also thinking about doing a live stream, like just every so often, and just to up the regularity in which my content comes up. Because we can get on a live stream, and when you don't have to edit you can get a lot of information out quickly, and it'll help me to be more comfortable on the camera too. Like I'm pretty comfortable, but like how it is.
You are.
How long you've been doing this, but you're very comfortable on camera, right? And that comes with practice. And it comes with you keep doing it and doing it and doing it. How did you start? How did you start to get on this YouTube journey?
Me? I don't know. I just started just over a year ago. And it was just like I just wanted to connect with other entrepreneurs. And I got a small community here, but I mean, to reach out and see what there was on YouTube. And like you say, the more you practice in front of the camera, I still don't think my videos are that great, to be honest. I mean, I think they're horrible at times, but I mean, if I can just help out other people and people that approach me like that, that's the idea behind it, and that's the part that I love. So I don't care what how I am out there, but I enjoy talking. I enjoy listening to people. I'm a people person. I just love listening to your stories. I love every past guest that I've had. Creator Talk now that we're doing with Ryan. It's so fun. Like, it really is, right? So yeah, I mean that's it. But I mean, your channel's doing amazing. Keep going, growing with your videos. Your videos are off the charts. I'm like so entertaining. And at points, like if I can laugh out loud watching somebody's video, that's cool. I love that. I like to laugh, but I mean, like, it's just so neat to see that, right? So, but yeah, anything else that you want to say to everybody here tonight? We got holy mackerel, we got people jumping on board here too as well. So,
shout out my guy Chef Icon.
Hey, yeah. Hey Cody, how's it going, buddy? Everybody, thanks for joining us, guys, coming in, joining us on the stream tonight. This is great. Really, really cool. Really cool. So there you go. Q makes it happen, saying Kenan is the man. You know it. So when can we expect your next video of?
Okay, so what's today? Tuesday? I'm shooting for Saturday. I'm shooting for Saturday.
Good. That's awesome, man. Awesome. That's really good news. Good news. So, all right, guys, if you guys don't have any other questions, I mean, I'd love to keep this going, but it's been 1 hour, 38 minutes. Holy mackerel. There's nothing else that you want to say, Kenan? I think we should wrap it up, man. Holy jeez, 10 o'clock our time here.
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
If you want to keep talking, man, I'm here. I'm here for you. You want to keep talking and whatnot? For sure. Let's go. You lead now. You lead. It's now it's your platform even more so now. You can even ask your own questions. What would you like to ask yourself? I'm going to turn it on you. I'm gonna sit back and relax, and you're gonna start talking about it. So I'm just gonna sit here, and I'll be the guy that posts the all the comments that I can. So ask yourself some questions, and let's go.
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. So who do you guys think, since we're talking about the competing companies of Tesla versus Nikolai, right? Like, who do you guys think is? What do you think? Two companies can't both be at the very top. Who do you think is going to top that industry? Because I've been thinking about it, and I really think that Tesla as a brand, and this is totally speculation and opinion. This is why I bring it up as a discussion. I totally think that Tesla might have the edge on them just for the fact that people like Tesla and people are interested in Tesla. It's kind of like the average consumer base. It's almost in their heart. For example, the same way that we all know that Android phones have more gigs of memory. They have 1 million cameras and all kinds of things like that. They do all these things and give you all this freedom. But people still wait outside of Apple stores in lines a mile long, wrapped around the block. And so Apple just really has the consumer's heart. And I feel like Tesla has that cool factor that the public sees from like Apple, like the consumer, that ecosystem almost.
Sleek product, right?
Yeah.
That real sleek, finished product.
Right. And you can kind of see it in their behavior where, like, for example, the truck, what was it called? The Cyber truck?
Yeah.
Like, you see what they did with that? They were like, you know what? We have such a consumer base that we're going to just go left with this completely and do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And then they make something like that. And then it catches on. But I bet if Nikolai would have done something like that, it probably wouldn't have landed as well. Because people would be like, we're going to go with this thing instead. But I'm just wondering what people are, how do I animate my videos too? But I'm just wondering what you guys think about that. What do you guys think? And what are some long-term plays that you think are absolutely on sale right now? So how do I animate my videos?
So while people are hopefully answering that, how do you animate your videos? That's a really good question, Ben.
So I have a table right over here to my left. You might see me sometimes like going to it in my video, sometimes grabbing something. But I put a piece of paper right on my table, and I put my camera right above. So then I look right down at the table, and then I have like millions of these cutouts. So I'm gonna grab some of my cutout.
You actually do have cutouts.
Yeah. So actually, I draw them, and then I cut them out. Sometimes, and I'm not the best artist of all time, but for example, you guys may have seen my real estate video, and I have like my alien guy.
Yeah.
And
a little baby. My kids laughed at the baby. You got that guy handy or what? Where's the little? Oh, you got them all in there, right? Yeah, you have to put them out. That is hilarious.
He's in here somewhere. But Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was him going off to what was the dad that you had going off to the MGM Grand or whatever you used for the one?
These guys are in somewhere. There's like 1,000 little pieces of paper in here. Like,
that is hilarious. And you draw all those?
Fast money. I draw all these, and sometimes it takes I'm not that great of an artist, so sometimes I have to try, even though it's stick figures, I have to try it like many, many times just to get it even. Where is that baby?
Good for you, man. Good for you. This is good.
And drawing that, I look up like online how to draw them with like little emotions. So like
it's the little facial expressions that you put on them is what makes them classic.
Right.
You, man.
Oh, one that I got a really good reaction on. Oh, here goes the baby.
There he is. Awesome. There he is. I'll have to show the kids that video.
One that I got a really good reaction on was
that's awesome.
When I did a credit card video, and then I was thinking about like because the credit currently they test you on like five different pillars, like your payment history, your overall credit limit,
right?
How much of the percentage you're using, whether or not you have a certain amount of accounts open, and all kinds of things like that. So there's 5. So what I was thinking was, how can I think of 5 characters that exhibit these 5 traits to make their credit just absolutely bad. And then I got to the not paying your card, not making your payments. And I was thinking, who would miss a payment? A dog. A dog would miss a payment because they don't understand credit cards. so then I got to the dog. I was like, the dog.
Oh, man.
Wow.
That's good. I love it. That's good. That's really, really good. All right. So Vin's replying back saying, hey, that's really creative. That's fantastic and nice. But nice. So Victor's got a point. He's saying that Tesla will top because of their subsidiaries. They own the Silver City, Apple Technologies, etc. Good point. Let's see what's been saying here. Right now, this league of ahead, but China brought them and learn from them, and then use them for their own company. Perhaps, maybe we'll see what happens there. That's what I'm saying. It's interesting to, see what's going to happen in the near future for sure. Wow. And then back, there you go. Everyone else is doing. It's true. You know what? Like your videos are amazing. Again, anybody still, that still hasn't seen, Kenan's videos, get in there and see them, spend the time and watch them. They are awesome. They're so well thought out, great messages, very easy to understand for the beginners. I love it. I think it's great. Like I said, I'm gonna have my kids watch them. Seriously. Right. So keep the cartoons going, sort of thing, for the kids, keeping them gravitating their attention to all of them.
Right. That's
really cool. All right, guys. You know what? I think we should start wrapping it up. Again, now we're hitting an hour, 45 minutes. Sorry, man. I was going to keep it for an hour, not almost close to 2. That's been great.
It was a great conversation. I'm glad that we had it.
Likewise, as always. Thanks for spending the time, with us and whatnot, and letting the community get to know you even more, right? So that's very cool. So, all right, guys, everybody that joined us tonight, thank you so very much. Share this out, please. If you're, you haven't given us a thumbs up, please do. Check out Kenan's, his Instagram, his Twitter scrolling on the bottom. Connect with him there, and also make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. All right. So thanks again for joining us, everybody. Kenan, it's all yours. I'll say bye to everybody.
Guys, I love y'all.
Thanks, guys. Until next week.